Yonkers. I know.
Hey, what's up, Yonkers? It's Anderson, founder of Inside Yonkers, here for another special edition of City Talk. Today we have a special guest, Deana Robinson. Deana, how are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Thank you for coming on City Talk. We've been, planning this for some time now. Finally got you on. Especially today is a special day because you're here to let everybody know that you're running for City Council in District 1, right?
Correct.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Who is Deana Robinson? And by the way, I want to apologize. I realized I was spelling your name wrong.
With two N's, you had it.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I know it's on the right way right now in our lives.
Perfect.
Sorry.
So, who is Deana? That's a jam-packed question. I am a mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I am an employee of the city of Yonkers. I currently work as a legislative aide to Councilwoman Shanae Williams for the last 6 years. I'm a small business owner. I have a networking and public relations agency that I started in 2021. Super proud of that. I am a community activist and leader. I'm a peer support advocate with 914 United. That's a jam-packed question. There's a lot going on over here.
So I know I'm very familiar with 914 United. It's a really good cause. Tell me what you've accomplished being a legislative aide. What you've helped during that time in the city.
So, being a legislative aide, we are pretty much the secretary, the backbone. We help a lot with the footwork to help the council person be able to do what it is that they do. So not only do we have to do the everyday office stuff, answering the phone calls, putting in the work orders, printing out agendas, making sure they're all set for meetings, standing in, speaking for the council person when they can't make it to a certain, event or meeting. There's a lot that's involved in that. Putting together community events, brainstorming ideas, helping with the legislation that the council person is trying to introduce. Excuse me. But yeah, it's a lot. It's always a lot going on in the back that everybody doesn't always see.
So it gives you a kind of a head start, especially when it comes down to having some type of experience in office, right? So you kind of know already some things that are going on and have occurred, and a little bit of the future, right?
Yeah, the future, a little bit of things that have gone on in the past. You see a lot of the inner workings that, people don't see. Sometimes they think, politics, you're just supposed to come in, save people, fix the world. This is how it works. Why can't this be accomplished? No. So there's a lot of work and there's a thought process and there's a trick to the game. You know what I mean? It's not as simple as people think.
Yeah, definitely. So that's when this question comes in play. A lot of people, of course, are going to ask this question. Probably the most common question what skills and experience do you have that you believe would be beneficial to you as a city council member?
Besides the fact, like I said, I've worked for the actual city council in the specific district that I'm running for the last 6 years. I believe my personality, my character, I'm personable, well-spoken. I know the work, I know the district, I know the people. I'm passionate about the community. I'm well-liked on both sides, both parties. I believe that I would be an asset, you know what I mean, on both parties, helping be able to make deals and speak freely because I have a good relationship with all of the council members. I believe that's an asset in itself. Having a good working relationship with the people you work with is super important to me.
Definitely, and you already know most of them.
Yeah.
So it helps you, right? So for those who have that question in mind, there goes the answer, right? So based on what you already know, dealing and working for a city council member, how will you use that experience to if elected in office? How would you use that experience in office from changing what has been occurring to something maybe new that you might have in mind?
So I don't want to come in making promises. I don't want to say, hey, Deanna's going to do this. Deanna's going to do that. I promise when I get in office, I'm going to. No. The only thing I can promise is that every day I'm going to show up. I'm going to be present. I'm going to do the work, and I'm going to work hard to advocate for the people in District 1. So, like I said, I know the work, I know the processes. They're not easy, they're not simple, they're not overnight fixes. These are things that you got to come to the table, meet. There's conversations over and over again. There's legislation, there's word changes. There's a ton of things that come into play. So I don't want to come in with a cape on and you guys think I'm going to be super fit, like I'm going to fix everything. That's not the case. What I can promise is that I want to hear what the community needs and wants. I want to see how I can make myself of any use. I'm going to come in, I'm going to talk, I'm going to advocate, but we're going to do the legislation. We're going to try to fix things. We're going to try to progress. That's the whole point of this, is progress. So we're
Absolutely.
here, we want to move things forward.
Absolutely. I admire that and I respect that because, you know, a lot of other people, you know, maybe an experienced politician would already have probably something scripted for that and for that question and stuff.
Yeah, no,
But
I'm not trying to give everyday politics. This
right.
isn't, your usual politics. I don't look like your typical politician.
That's probably what Yonkers needs, some sort of change, right?
Yes, I don't want to give you guys promises and then let you down. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to be effective, because that's not the case at all. But I do want to let you guys know that I am going to do the work. I am going to do the research. I am going to work side by side with the administration over and over again until we get the progress that we want. If that's one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, however it may have to play out, but there will be progress.
Let me ask you a question. What do you you would obviously know this question already.
Mhm.
This question already. But what do you believe are the priorities in District 1 from the resident perspective?
From the resident perspective. So me living here in District 1, of course, affordable housing is major right now. Public safety, and everybody cares about education. It's
Absolutely.
super, super important. But something else for me as a resident, in District 1, heavily Black and brown populated, diversity. Diversity.
Diversity.
When I walked
Right.
into City Hall, I felt like I was the only person who looked like me. And I'm not just talking about skin color. Like I'm a lot. Long eyelashes, blonde hair, tattoos, piercings. Like, you know what I'm saying? It kind of felt like I was in a room by myself for a long
You,
time. But it's
you,
like, mhm.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but you
No,
know,
it's fine. It's fine.
you mentioned the tattoo part when we originally made the announcement that you were running on our
Hmm.
Facebook page. Some people had the audacity to mention your tattoos. I don't believe that dictates if you can be a politician or not, or a human being, right?
Listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but
Absolutely.
they have that saying, everyone has an opinion, but you know what you could do with those. I don't believe my tattoos define me. Yes, they are a part of me. I know why I got my tattoos. I know what they mean to me, but it does not affect my work ethic in any shape, form, or
Absolutely.
fashion. And I think I've proven that for a very long time now. So people may be ignorant in their responses. That's okay. I'm working on me day by day. I'm working on my character, and I'm giving people the same grace that I'm trying to receive.
And that's how it has to be, right?
Hmm.
Especially you need to stay motivated running for
Yeah.
such, you know, and you know, I don't mean to bring up Shatika Parker, who's also running for City
Hmm.
Council District 1, but I also told her too, District 1 is probably the most important district in the entire city. So,
I might be a little biased, but I inclined to agree.
okay, so tell me your opinion on that.
I love District 1. I
Right.
love District 1. Shatika has been in the district for a while as well. I got here when I was like 6 years old. And I've been here for the last 28 years. So District 1, my family still lives in District 1. I grew up on Palisade Avenue, 263. Whoop, whoop. And my kids are still here. I love this district. My friends are here. My family is here. Um, when I think about home, it's District 1.
Right.
So I don't want to see District 1 decline. Like I said, it's all about progress. There's a lot of changes happening. A lot of the people I grew up with, graduated with, they're moving. They're taking their families elsewhere. And that's happening a lot. too often actually. So I want to see the people I grew up with be able to stay here
Absolutely.
and live here, and then my kids know their kids, and like that's community, not having a revolving door all the time. Because
Absolutely.
it's nothing wrong with diversity and bringing in people from all over. Don't get me wrong, but it's nice to see a familiar face every once in a while.
No, absolutely, and you're right on that. So when it comes down to that, also, what about crime? I know it's above you, but you will get the question of what is the city doing or going to do about crime, because recently the mayor and the police department started an initiative to combat retail theft. It's on a rise. It's seen
Yeah.
a 10% increase. Also, we just got word today, maybe 30, 45 minutes before this interview, was that we're noticing an increase on retailers in Yonkers hiring armed security guards. So now people are going to start seeing armed security guards in a lot of the retail stores. And like I said, I know this is a little more above you, but these are questions that people are going to
You
ask.
still live here. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm still a resident here. So those things will affect me the same way it will affect everybody else. Um, Seeing armed guards in a store can serve its purpose. It may deter people from trying to rob the store. Um, but it's not as relaxing as you would like. I'm shopping freely, I'm hanging out, and there's like, guns around. Preferably that these armed guards are trained, in a more areas than one. So I do know a lot of armed security guards, retired cops, things of that nature. So I'm preferably it'll be somebody like that or former military, things like that. But I do understand the purpose. Am I 100% okay with it? Maybe not so much, but I do understand what the purpose. It serves a purpose. For crime here in District 1 and in the city in general, I have a few ideas. I don't want to throw them all out there, but just, on the surface, I do believe that we need to figure out more after school programs for the kids. We grew up, we had tons of things that we could get into, sports included, music, the arts, things like that. That definitely needs to come back, and it needs to come back in a big way.
There used to be so many programs in the
Mhm.
90s, early 2000s. There were so
Right.
many programs you didn't know which one to pick. I
Yeah.
took advantage and did football at Gorton.
Yep.
But, that's when every school had their own football team
Mhm.
still. And it's unfortunate what has come now,
Yeah.
but I
I played
completely
sports
agree
my
with
whole
you.
life. Sports was big for me. Music was big for me. I was a part of the choir. I was on the track team. I volunteered. Both of my parents are pastors. So serving the community has, been instilled in us from kids. So food pantries, giving out toiletries, things like that. Visiting families, bringing them hot plates, things we've done that since kids. But I believe giving these kids volunteer work, showing them, other things that they can give back, other ways they can give back to their community, getting the faith-based organizations involved. We have so many churches, so many amazing pastors and ministries here in the church, and I feel like we should all come together, starting youth nights, things like that, just hitting the streets. You used to see churches out in the square, the youth coming out. You don't really see that much anymore. And I know the climate has changed, COVID has changed a few things, but there's so many ways we can bring things back to kids, getting the unions involved, the labor unions, showing these kids that there's jobs available and other things that they can get into. If you don't have a college degree, these are your options. Some of these kids don't even know what's out there. There's so many
No,
different
no, they don't.
organizations
Absolutely
throwing
not.
stuff at you. I feel like we need some type of like log that where everybody can come and see what organizations do this, do that, because there are Yonkers is full of gems, full of amazing people, full of amazing organizations, all trying to do stuff for the community. But sometimes when there's so much going on, people don't even know where to start.
No, you're absolutely right about that, and it's unfortunate, because so much potential out there. So let's go to the next one. So on the you we mentioned affordable housing. You
Mhm.
you gave me the reply through email, but I generally want to ask you because like I said about the whole crime issues, I know it's above you, but these are questions that are going to be asked of,
Yeah, no, affordable
from you
housing is
stuff.
not above the city council. They're very much involved with that.
So what is your opinion on what a lot of residents are saying are a lack of new affordable housing? They feel like they've been ripped off and they feel like they're being, kind of pushed out of the city,
Hmm.
and rent is going up everywhere, not just Yonkers. It's
The cost of
nationwide.
living in general.
Yeah, overall it's going up, so we can't just isolate Yonkers to that issue. But like I was asking, there's a lot of development, especially in District 1. There's a
Mhm.
ton of development going up in District 1. There's a few weeks ago I was watching one of the city council meetings, not the city council meeting, but one, I think it was a planning board, and AMS was trying to get some something approved or something, and they only had about, maybe, I think it was 30 to 40 apartments that were affordable housing out of maybe 900. District 1, there's a lot of families that rely on affordable housing. So back to the original question, a lot of people are feeling betrayed. They're feeling like they're being pushed out of the city with all this new development that does not meet their level. Get what I mean?
Right. I am
So
definitely
what do you
pro-affordable.
have to say when it comes down to the lack of my opinion too is it's a lack of affordable housing.
Right. Well, there is a lack of affordable housing. That's you're absolutely right. There's no denying that. I'm pro affordable housing. I like my mom was a stay-at-home mom. My mom didn't go back to work until my son is 12 now, so 12 years ago. So my whole life she was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad had to provide for four of us. So I come from a working family. Things aren't always easy. It gets rough. It gets tough sometimes. I couldn't imagine raising four kids right now. I have two boys, and I feel like they are very expensive. Okay, so
I
four.
I, I have.
See, see. So I'm like, it's hard. It's tough, and I can't say that I am not grouped into that group of people who feel like I don't know where there's rent that I can afford. I have to
You
run a
have
business.
rent, you have car payment, insurance,
Exactly. Groceries,
school costs.
eggs, $7, $8 eggs. It's like it's
Yeah.
craziness. So I don't want to act like I'm above that. No, honey, I'm right here with you. I when I had to move in June looking for apartments was not easy. Look, it's not easy. And I don't think that there is enough affordable housing, not to mention that, they're grouping Yonkers in with the Westchester area. Westchester is one of the most um affluential freaking counties in the state. And it's like Yonkers doesn't always have Westchester money. You know
Nope.
what I'm saying? So us, just being grouped in there makes it very difficult. It makes it very difficult. So I'm definitely pro affordable housing. We're at 10. They shot for 20. Certain council members tried to push it. It got vetoed. Now it's back to the drawing board. And I'm just like, don't be discouraged. And I try to see it at a my glass half full kind of way. Any progress is better than no progress. So if we were at 10, if we can get it to 13, 14, I know they're bouncing back between those numbers now. Any progress is better than staying at 10.
Right.
So that's where I'm at with it. So whether it be 13, whether it be 14, whatever it lands at, okay, that's better than 10. Now we go back to the drawing board month after month, year after year until we get it right. Everything is not a quick fix. People want to be saved immediately, and that's not how it works, unfortunately. I wish.
Unfortunately,
I
right.
wish, but like I said, I'm willing to sit at the table every single time until we get somewhere where our community is making this constant progress, where we see things turning around for people like us.
Right. So this is something we kind of put out there. Not a lot of people knew about it until we put it out there. Thanks to our sources. So in District 1, there's a brand new firehouse, right?
Hmm.
So this firehouse was built because the old firehouse across the street at 57 New School Street was, condemned. It was really old. There was a rally to save it and stuff like that. So it took a few years to build a new firehouse. So up to this date, the firehouse has no landline. like in City Hall, you need a landline phone to
Mhm.
make, conduct city business. So these firefighters and lieutenants, officers need to use their personal phones to conduct business. Now, that's the least of it. Now, the firehouse AMS wants to tear down. Brand new firehouse AMS wants to tear down to bring up a new development there. And then build a whole new firehouse where the old firehouse was. Now, what is your opinion on that? And I know you probably haven't heard about this up until now.
Yeah, you kind of ambushed me with it, but it's fine.
So I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
So
I would have
that's what's
to,
happening. And
yeah, I would have
I'm
to verify it first. That's a little unsettling to me because, like you said, it's brand new. It just went up. Tons of funds were put into it. Like, I don't see the logic in tearing it down and building it otherwise, because then you have to wait for it to be built somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So then, do we now have to move firefighters to different houses, and we're down or out a
That's what
firehouse?
originally happened before.
Yeah,
There
and
was
I don't see the sense in going through that all over again. So yeah, I would definitely have to double back with you on that one. Verify with our own sources and see what's going on, but I honestly don't see the sense in that.
no, there's no
There's
sense.
ways to work the firehouse into the plans.
Right.
That it's a heavy,
So
that's a dense area. They need
it
a
is.
firehouse. There's a lot of buildings. There's a lot. There was a fire across the street from the firehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Things could have been way worse if that firehouse
Absolutely.
wasn't as close as it is. So I don't really see the
Absolutely.
logic in
I don't think there's logic. I
at
could
all.
say that. I know you have to not kind of say that, but we'll go from
No,
there.
but this
But
is the first I'm hearing of it. But like
yeah,
I said,
no,
I will double back with you on it. But my
I get it.
personal opinion is that makes zero sense.
Yeah, no. So another emergency service situation that we've made the public aware of is response times for EMS. Now, there's a worldwide shortage for EMTs and paramedics. That's understandable.
Hmm?
And there's a lot of people that will call 911 for absolutely nothing, maybe a
Right,
stub toe or something.
right.
So you have to kind of be 50-50 about it. But there is a response time issue in the city of Yonkers where it's taking paramedics up to 25, 30, 35 minutes to respond to incidents. The city of Yonkers pays Empress absolutely no money for their services, which is very uncommon that a city does not pay a private company money
Mhm.
for services. The citizens have been, I promise you, weekly complaining, sending us messages. What is anybody going to do about this? Sometimes they're not even showing up. Um, if you're elected as city council member, how can you reassure the residents in your district that closure that they want to know that if they have an emergency, they'll have an ambulance show up? Because generally we've provided data and proof of incidents where they've not even responded, they've taken 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So without shaking things up too much, that's unacceptable for one, because lives can be lost.
All right.
With a response time like 25, 30 minutes, that's unacceptable.
No.
um I, Now granted, operating in grace, there's a shortage. I get it. Typically when 911 is called, the ambulance is called, the fire department is dispatched as well. They're first responders and they're trained to an extent as well. So thank God for that. But showing up 25, 30 minutes during an emergency.
That's a good point, which I forgot to put in, but that does delay them from being able to respond to other calls in their jurisdiction, which has happened.
Right. Right. But it's like you can't put one life over another. So,
No, right.
you got to try to handle it the best way you can. If elected, first I would have to do more research on the subject, speaking, you know, to the people the administration who first put this contract, quote unquote, with the Empress together. How long is the contract? What are the terms? Things like that. And possibly look into another company if things aren't working out. progress can't be made if you keep pulling us 100 steps back. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
I would definitely research it, speak to both parties, the administration, the people who put the contract together, and possibly you're gonna have to speak to Empress. We're gonna have to speak to the heads because that's unacceptable. Um, if it's a shortage, if we need to host more job fairs, if we need to, you know, see if there's anybody who wants to apply, helping them in any shape, form, or fashion we can, then that's great. We don't want to keep them having a shortage, obviously. But yeah, that's unacceptable. And if they would have to be replaced, God forbid, then it is what it is because we can't put our people at risk waiting
Absolutely.
to show up 30 minutes.
Absolutely. So I totally forgot about this one, but I remember the BZAC Center. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if you know what's going. I'm pretty sure you do know what's going on with the BZAC Center right now.
The
BZAC
phase, the
Center,
BZAC Center.
BZAC, yeah, is on Alexander, and
Mm-hmm.
it's an environmental educational center for the youth. It's very, very, very effective. It's a really good program.
I agree. I agree.
Unfortunately, from my understanding, Westchester County has put a 30-day notice to them to fix, I believe it was $9 million or a little more than that in repairs for 30 days. Okay, I don't know if you have any
Did you
insight
say
on
9 million?
about that. I believe one no 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 1.9 million. I have to reconfirm that.
Yeah, I'm like, let's
Um,
double check the number. I don't think
right. It was 1.9
Mhm.
million, I believe. But that's still a lot, right?
It is. It is.
Especially
Absolutely.
for 30 days.
Hmm.
I don't know if you have a little insight on that. If you do, if you could
I
share with
don't
me.
have too
But
much
if
insight. They have been reaching out to me. I have been reposting the flyers. There's conversations that are in the works, even with Councilwoman Shanae Williams, who is the current councilwoman of this district. So I do know there are conversations being had. I have a great relationship with Bob, so I want to speak with him, talk to a couple people, and see how we can assist. But we have to have the facts first,
right,
and see what's going on exactly before we can make any moves. But I do agree that BZEC is amazing. They've done so much work with the youth and educational wise for the environment, which is, I believe, that we kind of lacked growing up. We didn't have like we
we
didn't
didn't have a
participate in things
lot.
like that,
We had
right?
sports and all, like we
Yeah,
mentioned, but
absolutely. But
we didn't have in-depth stuff like that.
yeah, we had the like don't throw plastic in the river thing. Like we knew that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of
Yeah.
as far as it went. So I do believe those type of educational skills are very important, especially with the way the climate of the world is going now. So that's definitely something I personally, if elected, would want to keep and try to fight for and make sure that's something that we keep right here in District 1.
Definitely, definitely. I like that. So we're about to reach our time. So tell us, why should the people of Yonkers vote Deana Robinson for District 1?
You should vote Deana Robinson for District 1 because I love people. I love what I do. I want to continue to do it. And I'm always going to continue to do it, regardless of the title or the platform, because it's just a part of who I am. I love people. I want to see Yonkers progress. I want to see District 1 flourish and do well. And I want to lead with love. I want to lead with grace, integrity. I want to show people that politics still works, quote unquote politics. But at the same time, I'm not your everyday politician. I'm not. So I want to bring a breath of fresh air in a good way to the council, continue to work with the people that I've been working with, but now my say so kind of means something. You know what I'm saying? So I look forward to knocking on your doors, speaking with you. Reach out to me. Any questions? I'm here. I promise you I won't run away if you run up to me. If you want to chat, just contact me and I will make myself available. So I really feel like I'm here to fight for the people, and that's really it. That's it. I know I can do the work. I'm passionate about the community. I'm passionate about what I do. And I believe I could lead District 1.
I love that. And you definitely have a lot of the experience, right? So uh, thank you for coming on here.
Thank you for having me.
And I hope to speak to you more.
Absolutely.
I know
We are
I'm
going to chat.
not.
We have a couple numbers we're going to have to run back and forth that were discussed today that we're going to have to
Yes.
get some information on. So we'll definitely be in contact. And of course, I look forward to more interviews.
Thank you for coming on here.
Thank you.
And aside from you running for city council, great work on everything you do in the
Thank
back
you.
behind the scenes with Shanae and also for 914 United.
Thank you so much.
You know, we look at 914 United alike. You remember we recently just nominated Jonathan for most inspirational person in
Yes.
Yonkers. So, like I
He is
said, thank
amazing.
you.
Shout out to you, Jonathan. That's my brother. We've known each other since we were kids, but he's doing amazing work. The whole group is doing amazing work. Like I told you, a peer support advocate. I love being a mentor to these kids. You think you're teaching them so much, but they're teaching me so many things. And even being a mom, you come in thinking you know it all and I could get them in shape, but they're teaching me so much. And I love what I do.
It's a humbling experience.
Yeah. And I mean, working with the youth it's incredible. They're the next generation. And I know it's so cliche, but truth be told, like that's what matters to me. When I pass away, I want them to be like, Deana was love. Deana was love. She taught me this. She did this. Like I want people to know that I showed up for them. That's what matters.
Absolutely. And that's what it has to be, you know. Not a lot of people think like that, but
Yeah, that I want when I go, I want somebody to be like, she was everything to me. You know what I'm saying? Like Deana did this for me. Like that. I want those type of memories. Like she always loved on me and hugged me and showed me love. Like that's the stuff that means something to me. You could the awards and titles and this and that is very, very nice. Humbling, grateful for those, but that's the stuff that means something to me.
For sure, definitely. And like I said, thank you for coming on here. We're gonna wrap this up. We reached our limit, and I wish you the best of luck. We'll be in contact anyways. But I wish you the best and your team, and keep doing the work you've been doing. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, hon. Bye bye.
You too. What's up, Yonkers? So that was Deana Robinson. Thank you for tuning in today. Tomorrow I will have Hector Santiago on at 8 p.m. for a regular scheduled city talk. And listen up, Yonkers. A lot of stuff is going on recently, but keep your head up, guys. Seriously. All you have to do is remain positive and don't stress some things out. And I know I have a whole new haircut. I look like a different Joe Small. Don't judge me. But guys, as always, thanks for tuning in. City Talk Original is tomorrow at 8 p.m. with Hector Santiago, who's also running for City Council. He'll be running for City Council District 3. I'm not going to say against Tasha Diaz. Maybe, I don't know. She really hasn't announced if she's running again. But he's going to be running. And tomorrow, 8 p.m., guys. Take it easy. My name is Anderson. I am the founder of City Talk. And it's y'all.